Are you curious or your kids been asking you what they can do to bring the outdoors inside? Well, we are going to get into that in the question of the day. What's going on, guys? Matt in the hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. You are tuned in to the hot list. I come to you on Monday through Friday, each and every single week around 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we talk real estate. We talk properties new to the market, had recent price reductions, or something unique about the properties that I want you guys to know and makes these stand out above and beyond some others. I also answer a question of the day that is submitted by a viewer and listener of the podcast. So if you want to know how to get your question on the show, stick around to the end of the episode. And finally, I recognize and thank a sponsor of the week each and every single week. This week is no exception. And if you would like to know more information about that, then tune in till the end and I will get that answered for you. So, as you guys are jumping in here, whether you're listening to this on Facebook, make sure you like, share this out. For my YouTubers out there, doesn't cost you anything to just smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so as I drop and bring new videos and content, you can come check them out. And of course, to everybody listening to in the podcast world through iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, make sure you leave me a review. Helps me out, gets me in front of more people, and that way I can help and share as well as educate with them as well. The property we're talking about today is a very cool house. The address is 2166 Morningside Drive right here in Emporia. It's a 5-bed, 3-bath house. It's a ranch style house, so it has an attached 2-car garage. It's got 2,722 square feet of finished space, and it is in a very desirable area. It's actually in the Country Club Heights area. So it is very, very desirable area, a very well established area as well. And people that live over on that northwest side of town definitely know where it is. Currently listed for $224,900, courtesy of Coldwell Banker Emporia Real Estate. It's got hardwood floors throughout, a nice large kitchen with a breakfast bar. On the main floor, they do have the laundry up there, so that is always nice and handy to have. Full basement that is finished to include a walkout basement, which is always awesome. And of course, it's got a deck on the back and partially covered. So all you got to do to check this house out is just click on the link in the description. It's going to take you right to my website so you can see this house for yourself. And all you have to do with any questions, just hit me up while you're on the website, or come back to Facebook and let me know what questions you have, and we can get that answered and addressed for you. Before I get to the question of the day, I do want to recognize and thank our sponsor of the week this week, and that is Adam Hines, who is the owner of AO Key and Lock. And I've had some conversations with him, like I mentioned, and he is a truly unique business here in town. His business is mobile, so he can go to you instead of you having to come to him. He covers commercial, residential, auto, and I just learned from him he also has done security safes as well. He was telling me that he had a client a while back that couldn't get their safe open, and it had a dial on it. He was finally able to get into it. Took some doing, but he was able to replace that dial with a digital lock. So much simpler, so much easier for the client as well. And of course, they were happy. He was happy to be able to help them out, get them back into the safe as well as into the safe in future appointments again. All you got to do is just click on the link in the description. That's going to take you right to Adam's Facebook page where he posts some updates, got his contact information. So if you have any questions about what he does, his services, or you need his services, all you got to do, call 620-481-6513, and That's going to ring right to Adam's phone. So all you got to do is just tell him what you need. He'll get you covered. If you are interested in being a sponsor of the week, all you got to do is just either shoot me a message here through Facebook or my website, which is emporiahomes.kw.com, and we can have a conversation, see if we are a good fit, mesh well together for doing something together and making you a sponsor of the week. The question of the day. Question of the day is submitted by a listener, viewer of the podcast, and each and every single day, Monday through Friday that I do this, I answer question. Some of these are a little more challenging than others and take a little bit of legwork and research on my part, because what I don't know, believe it or not, I don't make up. I do some research and talk to some people. So all I have to do is get those answers together, and I can pass everything along to you and not just make something up off the cuff. So the question of the day, do you have any suggestions or recommendations for me that I could bring the outdoors inside? This is a great question, and I really thought I would get a question like this sooner than I did during the whole COVID thing, because we all know how important playtime is for kids. It keeps them active, it's part of their routine, and it also helps build their imagination, their physical coordination, which if your kid is like mine, they absolutely need, and other important developmental skills. While COVID was definitely at its peak, not that it's dropped off too terrible and there's no end in sight before the end of the elections, just saying. We all know that the playgrounds were shut down. Kids were kind of restricted in the house, not be able to go outside around friends or do anything for fear of getting sick, cross-contamination, and of course, during the summer when all this was going on, the temperatures were hot and it kept kids inside anyways. And during this time as well, not every kid has an access to a yard, whether it's no yard in general, whether it's a smaller yard, or they may not have parents at home to encourage them to get outside. Fortunately for Chase, since he's the only one that's still home, I work from home, so he was fortunate. I would take breaks periodically. We would go play catch. We'd throw the football back and forth. We'd play basketball. We'd go for a walk. Went on some bike rides. But not every kid has that, and kids still need some playtime in their lives. But maybe outdoors isn't always an option. What I began seeing on not just the houses that I was touring and that I was continuing to look at in this area, but also throughout my Facebook pages and talking to other agents around the country, I began seeing those outdoor play areas moved inside, and this still enables and allows kids to play regardless of COVID or weather conditions. So that's absolutely something that's a great idea. There's no shortage of ideas to create those indoor play areas and spaces, just ranging by your kids' interests. May be hard to choose just one. So what we're going to cover today are the top 4 ideas when building an indoor play space. First one on the list may have you climbing the walls. Literally. You see what I did there? I actually saw this on Pinterest as well as Facebook. There's many ways to add climbing options indoors, whether it's in their room, in a common area, or even in the basement. I've seen rope climbings. I've seen those cargo style nets that you can climb. I've seen rock climbing walls, which are very cool, and even some trees that were painted on the walls. And So instead of, kind of like a rock climbing and just bouldering back and forth, they had they had trees either in a corner or spread out, so they had to the kids kind of had to stretch from one tree to another, and just using their imagination felt like they were outside and climbing the trees. any of these are any of these designed for climbing allows kids to not only continue to have fun, kind of get that outdoor feel, but also burn off some of that pent up energy. And hopefully as well keeps them off or away from electronics, because we all know that's the easy route to go. If you don't want them climbing on the walls, scuffing up the walls, or you think that's you're afraid of what damage it may do to the walls, consider other options like jungle gyms or similar play structures that you have room for. No matter what your choice is, just ensure that the mounting is secure in whatever you do. That way they don't come loose when your kids are playing on them. I would also recommend, especially if you have a kid like mine, add some additional padding to the floor or even the walls, because I don't know that there's anything we have or don't have that Chase hasn't jumped off of or tried to jump off of at some point. So just throwing that out there. Number two on the list, bouncing around. Another popular item that I've actually seen in person, trampolines inside. Now this is a little more common, just because not as much setup as you would anticipate, but still needs to be secured and have some type of netting or other protective gear to help prevent or reduce those injuries. Ultimately, your end result is going to be the kids having a ton of fun, having a good time. Uh, and again, I know it's hard to think and consider having trampolines indoors. I would recommend getting something that's going to be like 6 feet, maybe 8 feet wide at the max, and just being careful. Also, warn your kids as well. The ceilings are going to be lower, so they're going to be limited to bouncing. But whether they're just bouncing on their hands and knees, on their butt instead of standing up, they're still going to have a good time. Number three, bringing the outdoors inside. Now, there's numerous ways that you can bring the outdoors in. One of the ways that I've seen, I think it was 2 weeks ago, creating an indoor treehouse. This captures the look and feel of outdoors within an enclosed space. What and to add to that, what about replacing your carpet with artificial grass? Now, I'm not saying pull up the carpet. I'm just saying you can get those artificial grass pads, just roll them out and place it there. This adds more of a feeling of the outdoors than what it would be inside. Get creative with it. Get change some painting, some lighting, make the room more fun while duplicating the feel of either being outside in the sun or under those blue skies. Hell, I've not seen this in person. I have seen this on Pinterest. I've even seen somebody add a sandbox in their house. How cool is that? Keep in mind this is at your own risk, but this is going to keep kids busy for hours. I mean, what kid doesn't like playing in the sand? For that matter, most adults play in the sand too. I mean, what do we do when we go to the beach? We play in the sand. Let's be honest. Just I would recommend that you have some type of plan in place for cleanup, or if they spill and get it out of the sandbox, just make sure you have that addressed as well. And finally, number four, open up your imagination. Wherever your space is created, it doesn't have to be just one theme. How many of your kids are interested in just one thing and not multiple things, multiple items? So what you could have are multiple themes, or stations, if you will, throughout any type of room or basement. You could have a block table, a kitchen, car seats, an outdoor area, maybe even forego formal stations and just create some open space in the basement, a larger space to roam around, burn energy. That's what we did when Chase was smaller. We had some clear space in the basement, and he would rollerblade or he would skate down there or just run laps back and forth, just burn off that energy. And ultimately, nobody knows your kids better than you do. So design the space that fits them and their preferences. As and since you're doing it, get them involved. Get them off the electronics. Let them make some decisions and put in some elbow grease and some work with painting, building. Just you know, get them to chip in and just help out. I'm curious, having covered all this, what have you done during COVID for your kids, for your grandkids to help keep them entertained? Have you built certain areas? Have you done some type of painting or design? Drop pictures or comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys and love to see what you are doing or what you plan on doing for projects to keep your kids indoors instead of out. So let me hear from you guys. That is going to do it for me in the hot list. So thanks for watching with Matt in the Hat. Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. Y'all have an awesome day, and make sure you are back in here for Red Friday. Take care.